and welcome to the Raising Risk-Free Teens podcast. I'm your host, Cheryl LaBelle. In this risky world we live in today, we want to equip parents to help their teens avoid unnecessary risk. We'll touch on hot topics of the current culture. We'll talk about sexual risk avoidance and any other important information to keep you informed as a parent. All of our topics are rooted in science, facts, and medical accuracy, not opinion. Thanks for listening and hope you enjoy the podcast. Today, my guest is Mindy Fisher, and she is here to talk about positive character quality development in our youth. Hi, Mindy. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Now, as a sexual risk avoidance specialist, you spend a lot of time talking with sixth grade students, and this is actually one of the topics in the curriculum that you teach. Could you tell us what a character quality is?
Yes, I can. There are many different qualities that we all can have and develop within our lives. One of the things they talk about with character, the word character derives from the Greek I engrave. So when you think about character being etched into us by the experiences we have, what we've done, who we hang around with, those kinds of things. So character is going to be a lot of different things. We have a character qualities worksheet that we do with our sixth graders that has words like humility, honesty, creativity, courtesy, diligence, fairness. So there's a lot of different qualities that we can develop within us. So there's personality traits, but then the character is how we develop through our lifetime.
That's really interesting. So it sounds like our family systems would shape our character qualities. Like if patience is practiced at home, maybe that's something that a child would learn and also practice. Or it may just be part of their personality, kind of wired into them. I know when I look at our list of character qualities that we have, there are some that come very naturally and very easy for me. And then there are probably others that I have worked really hard to build because of those experiences I've had. Maybe for my daughter, she always complains that she gets interrupted. Her friends interrupt her. She just wants them to listen to her. But then the irony is she also interrupts people. So that would be a good character quality to talk to her about and say, we can try and develop this better, and then maybe your friends will pick up on it too.
Absolutely.
That's a hard position to be in either way, but still it would serve her well in her relationships too.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we speak with our sixth graders about is, we have this list. It's not an all-inclusive list of character qualities, but these are some things that will help you as you are becoming an adult. We speak to them about being an adult in training. I'm learning these things. I'm not going to be perfect in all of these. So some of these I may be really good at, some I may not be good at all, and that's okay. That's just a part of learning, and having somebody to help you develop those characteristics is really a positive thing for them.
Yeah. So why don't we talk a little bit about how that benefits students to know what their character qualities are?
There are a lot of benefits with students, because when we are working with students to learn how to build healthy relationships in general, I can be confident of who I am when I understand the character qualities that I have. And that's one of the things with this homework sheet. We ask them to select the things that they think they have. Like if I think I'm honest, I'm going to select honesty. But if I think I'm not very honest, but I really wish I would, they can put a W next to that word and say, man, I really wish I was more honest. And then I take that to my parent and say, look at this list, and will you circle the words that you can see evidence of that character quality in me? And I think one, that helps confirm to them the things that they know, but then oftentimes they will put a W and the parent circles and says, no, I see that in you. We're not always aware of the character qualities that we have that are good and positive and healthy. And quite frankly, we aren't always good about letting kids know when they're doing a good job. We're correcting, we're encouraging how to do things the right way, but we don't take the time always to help them understand you are really creative. Let me show you how you're creative, or you're honest, or you're kind, those types of things, because that can help them have more self-efficacy for who they are. Oh, I do have these good qualities, because especially when we get into the middle school, high school years, there's those self-doubts of do I measure up? Am I good? Am I okay? learning these character qualities can give us the confidence that I can do things and that I can have a positive, healthy future.
Yeah, I have experienced some of those conversations with my own children where they're frustrated or hurting from friends and the choices their friends have made or the words they've said. And I'll ask them, well, at the end of the day, do you like who you are? And they usually look at me like, well, yeah. Okay, well, that's what matters. But our friends don't always value those character qualities in us. And it's not the kind of language we regularly use. So it takes a little bit of work to put this into effect. But I would agree. I think it's a great way to affirm our children, to build them up and give them some confidence in those areas. I have my youngest son can be a little ornery, and we find ourselves in stages where he's not always making the best choices. And it does feel like we are constantly telling him, pointing out what he's doing wrong, or redirecting him, correcting him, punishing him, things like that. And even as a parent, I hit a point where I'm just tired of being so negative with my child. But if the things he is accomplishing aren't good, that's not really, you don't want to affirm a bad behavior. But I can look at him and say, you have a very caring heart, because he does. He's very kind in his heart. Sometimes he's hurting, and that's not what comes through because he's trying to defend himself. But I think we can have kind of a tender moment to say, I understand you're doing all of these things, but here are the good things that I appreciate about you.
Absolutely.
And that almost encourages them, gives them a little bit more energy to try and make some better choices.
Right. Well, and it is difficult sometimes when you're in a phase of making not necessarily the healthiest choices. You are needing to be corrected a lot. Again, that speaks to character. Am I willing to accept that criticism as a way of growth or not? And that's something to be able to try to develop in your kids at a young age, that I still love you. I love you no matter what. But it is my responsibility as the parent to call out this behavior as not being healthy, because I want to develop good character qualities within you. So if they understand the why of the correction, a lot of times it's easier to maybe not take it at the moment, but when they've had a moment to think about it, they can recognize that. So I think that's super important. And I think this is a way that parents can really develop an intimate connection with their kids. Because sometimes we don't want to be the heavy, so we just maybe ignore things or whatever. But if I'm willing to step up and say, hey, I want to help you build your future, so let's work on these character qualities. And if, maybe sometimes students they're berating themselves, and I'm terrible, I'm awful, I'm horrible. No. Let's talk about these. Let's talk about the good things in you. It really gives them confidence. I mean, I think that's the main thing. We've got to let our kids be confident in who they are, especially in a culture where teens are really questioning their value, their identity, all of those things. If I don't know who I am as a person, then I'm going to start questioning and maybe coping in ways that aren't healthy.
Yeah, that is a really great point to make. And I think starting with kind of a list of character qualities, it's a good starting place to have those conversations. And just like a child may not think that they have these qualities or don't even consider it, but to have a parent come alongside and say, you're really good at this. And I see it and other people see it. That just builds them up. So that's great. Well, how could a parent start kind of this process? Because again, like we said, this isn't regular verbiage that we would use in our conversations, or maybe, hey, sit down, let's talk about your character qualities. What would you recommend for a parent starting this out?
Well, I think just recognizing, taking the moments when you can, car rides from school, car rides to sports, when you're waiting in line at the restaurant or whatever, when you see something that your child has done that's positive, address it right then and there. Just bring it up. Hey, that was really kind of you. Man, it was so helpful that you just grabbed the groceries and helped pull them in the house without me having to ask you. You are really helpful, and I really appreciate that. Those are, I think, some of the biggest things. Again, we tend to not identify those things that are positive as much as we do correction sometimes as parents. So we want to make sure that we pick those out and help them understand. Because some of these character qualities may not be easily identifiable for the child. And so things like contentment, what does that mean? And what does that look like in reality? So trying to help them understand that and how it's important for us to be able to be content even when we're in a situation where maybe life is not going the way I want it. But how can I be content in the moment while I am working towards making it different?
This could be really eye-opening for parents to say, what character qualities do I have? Yes, and which ones would I like to develop?
Yes, yes.
And I think some of us think in those terms too of being able to work this into our everyday language and everyday opportunities. For others of us, we may need to be more intentional in trying to make it happen. But I love the idea of that windshield time when you're in the car, when you're times when you're naturally together, even if it's at the dinner table or at the doctor's office, whichever it is, and just finding a way to naturally work it into the conversation.
One thing you can do too is, I mean, I don't know how many families do game night. If you don't do game night, maybe you can start, because that's some good quality time to be able to spend with your kids. But kind of filter that into game night or just pizza night, dinner night, movie night. Maybe ask them, what does this character quality mean to you? Get their opinion and develop that conversation from there.
Kids love to share their opinions. They all have thoughts about something. So getting them to...
they want people to listen, right? Just like your daughter. I don't want to be interrupted, but I'm interrupting everyone else, right? So helping us recognize, right? It's so easy to do. And it's easy for me to tell you, well, you should do this, or this is the way this should be. But I need to take a look back into myself, which is one of the things that we teach in the 6th grade program. If I want to have good friends, I need to be a good friend. And that's where these character qualities come in. Do I have these character qualities so that I can be a good, healthy person for the people that I'm around?
Yeah. So what I am hearing is that when parents are having these conversations with their kids, they're building them up and honestly developing more of a personal relationship together too, that affirmation, that trust and respect that's going back and forth. It's creating good conversation, good relational development, but then it's really training our kids to grow up and be able to apply this in their lives in such a natural way that, it's not this language that we're trying to bring to the front and work into conversations. It's just a natural part of who they are and how they think. So you're saying it will be beneficial for the relationships that they have.
Well, I think it's beneficial for the parent-child relationship. It's beneficial for that child's relationship with friends, with other family members, and in the community, wherever they are, as they get older, when they start a job. It's important for them to have those strong character qualities to be able to do a good job at their job or their career. When they get into dating, when they get into potentially marriage, how can I be the best person I can be in that relationship? And how to identify these character qualities in the other people, so I'm making sure that I'm choosing well in all of those areas.
I really like that, because within the programs that we teach to students about avoiding risk, we also talk about healthy and unhealthy relationships. And if you can recognize your own character qualities, what you value, a little bit, it's an ethical thing too, right? Kind of what is right or wrong, what is acceptable to you or unacceptable to you. If kindness is really important to you, and someone you start dating or even in a friendship and they're not a kind person and that raises a red flag, if you're aware going through this process, you're going to realize that I don't respect that about this person, and they're probably not going to change. So I don't want to be in a relationship or a close relationship with this person. So that can really be eye-opening. And we are in relationships with lots of people. A lot of times we think that just means romantic, but like you said, an employer-employee, a student-teacher, parent-child, friend-to-friend, sibling-to-sibling. There's just so many opportunities to apply this and to help us recognize it in other people.
Right. You mentioned sibling to sibling, and this is something I a lot of times, sometimes in programs and when I'm working with parents, I talk about the fact that, the way we treat the people in our immediate family, those people that live under the same roof as us, that's how we're going to treat other people. So when we're in home That's a great practice ground. How am I practicing my character qualities with the people I live with? Because we tend to get comfortable with the people, they're not going to leave me because they're right here. They're stuck here. So I can do whatever I want and I'll get away with it. We don't maybe intentionally do that, but we do. So we tend to lash out and not think about our words as carefully as when we're out in the public. So this is a way to practice at home so that we then will be able to have those healthy relationships outside.
That is a great aspect and attitude towards that. It's definitely an opportunity. There's so many layers.
Yeah. Well, and you can even, I don't know, if for those of you who are creative, speaking of equality, maybe taking a lot of these character quality words and creating some sort of wall art or something that you place in the home. And maybe that's in an area of the home where you have discussions when there's an important topic to discuss, because then you've got it on the wall that everybody can reference. Okay, am I using good character qualities in this conversation or not? And
Yeah.
that's adult and child, both.
A very intentional way of incorporating it into your family conversation and your language. Yeah, and then it becomes natural.
Right.
So as kids are practicing this at home with their siblings, with their family, and then we mentioned a little bit how that can translate into other relationships. How might this be a good thing to either benefit or hurt their emotional health?
Well, I think you mentioned earlier the idea of recognizing those red flags. Emotional health is so important, and sometimes we can use emotional health as a crutch a little bit, but we really do have to look at the emotional health of our students, of our children. There's a lot with media, social media, all that kind of stuff that they're dealing with, and we're developing a culture that maybe says, do whatever you want, and everybody has to just deal with it, right? If I am developing good character qualities, then I am learning how to manage my emotions well. If I'm a person of integrity, then I'm not just going to lash out with somebody emotionally. I'm going to take a moment to calm myself down, those types of things. And again, that's something that we can do as parents and go to adults, is help our kids learn how to manage that emotional health, regulate it, take that moment. In our programming, I talk about think before you speak, think before you do, because that gives you that moment to decide, is this a good way to respond? Is this a good, healthy choice I'm making? If it is, I can go ahead and proceed. If it is not, then I need to think a little longer. If I'm not sure, that means I need to think a little longer and maybe reach out to somebody to get help. If I'm struggling managing that emotional health, then I need to get that go-to adult to help me develop that, work on that, maybe even a counselor to help figure out how, if I've got big emotions, because again, your kids, they get big emotions. I mean, as adults, we struggle to regulate emotions sometimes, and they just don't have the brain development yet to really be able to do that in healthy ways. So helping them identify when you're seeing an emotional outburst that is inappropriate. Okay, let's talk through that. What are you feeling? What kind of feelings do you have right now? And try to identify what that emotion is to then help them respond in a way that's healthy and positive. And in relationships with other friend groups, a person of character may recognize, okay, my friends don't have the same character qualities as I do. That's not necessarily a problem in and of itself. Maybe they just haven't developed those character qualities yet. Maybe they're working towards those. But, if you've got somebody that is not exhibiting positive character qualities, that may be somebody that I need to stop and say, I might need to think about my friend group here. I may need to step away. And that's hard sometimes when it's somebody you really like and you really connect with otherwise, but they're making choices that are really not good. Sometimes I do have to step away and make it different friends. So,
Yeah, and I think that's good too. You mentioned all of the outside messaging that's being spoken into our children. There are a lot of things happening around us. I like to ask my kids to stop and look at what are the things that they can control. So if someone keeps hurting your feelings or continues to put you down, Are they a person that you really want to spend your time with? And like you said, changing that friend group, it is hard to do. It is so much easier to say than to do, especially for kids. But trying to help give them that perspective. Let's think about where you want to be in a week or in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks. Maybe finding new friends is going to be hard, but how are you going to feel not constantly being put down or picked on or, fill in the blank, whatever it is.
Right.
So yeah, looking at those things, what can I control and what can't I control? Do you like who you are? Hopefully the answer is yes. So if the people around you don't, what can you change about it?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's okay to change friend groups. And you have friends that are in your life for a lifetime. I have those friends. I have the friends that come and go, and that's, it's okay to change friends as you go along. I mean, you think about, you could ask your student, you're a junior in high school. Do you have exactly the same friends you had in kindergarten?
No.
Right?
It changes.
It's okay. And your interests change, everything goes, and that's quite all right. And I think, being able to identify it's okay for me to make a move in a different direction. But again, it's a challenge because we all want to fit in, right?
Yes.
And so it's easy to let go of some of those qualities, the things that are important that we value for the sake of fitting in, which is only going to harm ourselves in that situation. So that's, again, building that strong character that I'm not afraid to be different.
Yeah.
Which is hard when you're a teen.
It is. It is. And you can't see past tomorrow or past today, which is, again, another reason why we need those healthy adult relationships, whether they're parents or other mentors that can kind of give us that perspective to say, it's okay, this will get better.
Exactly.
Or build up these character qualities within our kids so that they are also building up their resilience against what life throws at them.
Right.
Because what happens in high school and younger, in school, that's just a piece of what we face as we move into adulthood.
Right. Well, and learning how we talk about in our programs, our students are adults in training. And they're not expected to be perfect. They're never going to reach perfection. I speak to the kids about, those of you in sports, the very first time you ever tried your sport, were you perfect?
Nope.
No, I'm not. Are you perfect now? No, we're always learning something. I said, and in that sport, what is the responsibility of the coach? And the coach is there to
train,
teach, encourage, call us out when we're goofing off, call us out when we're making a mistake, and helping us learn how to do it better the next time. That's who we are as parents and adults in kids' lives, is being that coach. And hopefully we're coaching well, and the student is open to listening to that coaching to be able to learn well. And as they develop, they can get better and better and better. Now, they're not going to change overnight. And so, that's one of the things as parents, sometimes our expectation is high. We live in a microwave drive-through society. We want it now. We want it yesterday. So being able to help a kid who may be struggling in an area, what is the 1% you can do today that's above and beyond what you did yesterday?
Good advice. Good question. Thought-provoking.
Yeah, what does that look like? What is the 1% that's going to help me develop this character quality?
As parents, this is a really great model to follow, being a coach. But even as the adult in the room, we also have room to grow. We are not perfect, and we're constantly in that state of learning as well. And it can be hard. It can be overwhelming. So there are resources, places where parents can turn to get more information to help with this if they're wanting that. Google is a great source for finding some information. You can look up character qualities, or even something called positive youth development, or PYD. That talks a lot about the ways that you can encourage your children and build them up. And I tell you what, there is so much information out there. You will find as little or as much as you want. If you like to read, there's books, but there's also some easy things to look at too.
Right.
But we also have on our website some resources under our resource tab. We'll drop that in the notes for this podcast. Something that you created, right?
Yes, we have just some little practical steps on how to develop that relationship with your kids and be able to start taking those small steps and helping them develop who they are as a person, how to identify who I am, who am I, and how can I be confident who I am, and just again practical tips. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do here, is to be able to put those out there through our media and website to help parents along the way.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for listening. This podcast is brought to you by Clarity of Central Indiana. We hope you enjoyed today's topic. Be sure to leave us a review and share with your friends. You can find any links mentioned in the episode notes. Always remember that you have value, you have worth, you matter.